Good afternoon, Year 12 prospective parents who have joined us this afternoon. Thank you very much for your participation in this webinar. First and foremost, I hope that you are safe, you and your families are safe and well wherever you are in the world. And thank you for joining us and taking the time to show interest in Year 12 at GEMS Founders School. This webinar is to help you understand more about our school, specifically, obviously, with relation to Year 12 and the A-level program of study, and just to talk you through some of the updates as to where we are currently at and moving forward, what you would expect should you join our wonderful school. So first, I'll just start off by introducing myself. My name is Mr. Ian Plant. I'm the head of secondary. And along with Ms. Gurpreet Dhaliwal, our Deputy Head of Secondary, and Mr. Mike Jones, our other Deputy Head of Secondary, we make up the secondary school leadership team, amongst a wider group of individuals, including heads of key stage, heads of year, heads of subject. But Mr. Mike, Ms. Gurpreet and myself are here with you today, and Ms. Gurpreet and I will be talking you through much of the information that we'd like to share. Next slide, please, Mary. So I want to start off, as always, like we do with any of these curriculum information sessions for parents, for students, with our school vision. This is very important to us here at GEMS Founders School, and the three words that you can see on the screen right now, we speak about every day, we discuss, and we hold them at the very heart of everything that we do in our practice. We want our students to grow as individuals as they move along the academic journey in our school. We want them to flourish in everything that they do, both in school and in life, and have the opportunities to flourish. And ultimately, we want them to succeed. And success is not defined by examination results or test scores. It's a part of it, but success is much wider than that for us. It's being successful in life, being successful as a good human being and a global citizen. And we believe that this vision, like I said, is very, very important. And we want to make sure that our parents, our prospective parents, and all of our community understand what these three words mean and why we use them in our day-to-day practices. Sitting alongside our school vision, we do have three core pillars at GEMS Founders School. The first one is mindfulness, and this is a very, very common practice now across the world, and it's discussed not just in schools, but like I said, around the world in multiple contexts. And the practice of mindfulness is really important at Founders, and I think it's becoming even more important during the current situation that we are all facing worldwide. The second one is languages and cultural awareness. We are an incredibly diverse school. We are proud to be a diverse school with over 104 nationalities of students in our school community. And we want to share our experiences as a community with one another and to challenge the way we think about one another and how we behave around one another. And again, this is at the very heart of everything that we do. We want to promote language as much as possible. We teach through English and Arabic, but also offer French as an additional language at our school. And it's something that we're going to continue to develop as we grow as a school. And finally, character. We strongly believe that every member of our school community must have a strong character. They need to be resilient. We need to be resilient. And once again, during this very difficult time that we're all going through, showing that character to grow, flourish, and succeed is very important. And we believe that our practices at GEMS Founders School encourage character development and positive education. Next slide, please, Mary. So I'd like to share with you, first of all, a brief history, and it is a very brief history of our sixth form. And for those of you that are not familiar with the term sixth form, it essentially means our year 12 and 13 cohorts. So year 12 opened at the start of the 2018-19 academic year. We opened year 12 and we welcomed 40 students externally to our school. And it was a wonderful first year, which we learned from one another and with one another. And it was so wonderful to welcome new students to start off our very first year 12 cohort. Those year 12s have just left us now. Our first group of year 13 leavers. And we said goodbye to them in July 2020 through a drive-through leavers ceremony, and wish them all the best as they move on to higher education institutions around the world. And as you can see at the bottom of this slide, to some prestigious institutions such as the University of Warwick, the London School of Economics and Political Science, New York University, and the University of Groningen in the Netherlands. And there are multiple other universities that our students have gone to, and that we will continue to follow and track them as our alumni. Currently speaking, our sixth form has 160 students, and part of this webinar today is to encourage you to consider us as a place for your child in year 12 and beyond. So I'll just start off briefly by talking about the examination boards. Obviously, this is very important as students enter year 12 and enter the A-level program of study. We made a very conscious decision 2 years ago about our examination boards. And we started off working very closely with Oxford AQA International and Cambridge Assessment International Education when our first group of year 12 students joined us. And since then, this year, we are also introducing Pearson EdXL as one of our main examination boards. And through the close work and relationships with the examination boards, we're able to offer a very broad and balanced curriculum offering to students, not only in year 12 and 13, but obviously in years 10 and 11 at the IGCSE level. But it goes beyond that. It's about the professional relationships that we develop with examination boards and the professional development that they provide our teachers, the opportunities that they provide our students outside of examinations, and the curriculum are vast. And we strongly believe that through more positive interactions with these examination boards, again, our students are going to have the best opportunities to grow, flourish and succeed. Next slide, please, Mary. I'm going to hand over to Miss Gurpreet ALevel, who is going to briefly discuss our first set of A-level results.
Thank you there, Mr. Ian. Good afternoon. First and foremost, I hope you and your families are safe and well. As Mr. Ian said, my name is Miss Gurpreet. I'm one of the deputy heads here at James Founders School. It gives me great pleasure to be able to speak a little about our first set of A-level results. As Mr. Ian said, we offer a broad and balanced curriculum, and last year we had 16 different subjects being taught in the year 13, ranging from your kind of traditional core subjects such as A-level mathematics to your sciences, to more practical subjects such as art and design and computer science. And some of the highlights which we're incredibly proud of and delighted to be celebrating is that 40% of our students achieved an A star or an A grade. A further 64% of our students achieved an A star or a B, with a further 88% of our students achieving an A star or a C. Of our whole cohort, we had 100% of our students achieving A star to a B in English literature, 63% of the A star or B in mathematics, and 48% of the A star to B in our sciences. We're also incredibly proud of 80% of our cohort achieving A star to B in psychology. Thank you, Mr. Ian.
Thank you, Ms. Gurpreet, for sharing that headline data. And I just want to re-emphasize what Ms. Gurpreet said, is that we are incredibly proud of our students who achieve these results. They achieve these results in exceptional circumstances, like all students did across the world. And for that, we are very proud of what they did and what they achieved, with the final part of their course being remote and obviously non-examined as well. Next slide, please. So we do have incredibly high standards at GEMS Founders School, and on the screen that you can see right now, we do have A-level requirements. And these requirements are to ensure that our students have a solid foundation and prerequisite knowledge that they may have established through an IGCSE course of study, or perhaps from a different curriculum. And we welcome students from all curricula because it is essential for prospective parents to understand that students can succeed no matter what curriculum they choose and whether they transition in between curriculums or not. And this is one of the common questions I get asked as the head of secondary, is that would my child be able to succeed if they transfer from a CBSE or an IB curriculum? And the answer is absolutely yes, absolutely. Would it require a change in mindset? Perhaps it would for some students. Would it require a change in rethinking how they learn? Perhaps it might do. But the main point is that no matter what curriculum students join our school from, they will have the opportunities to grow, flourish and succeed, but also to make sure that they do successfully, we must have requirements and prerequisite knowledge. So you can see on the screen here, as an example for students that are entering year 12 who have prerequisite IGCSEs, we require them to have a minimum of 5 at grades A star to C, or 4 to 9, depending on the grading scale from each exam board, including English and mathematics. And then should students wish to study certain subjects, for example, business or economics or psychology, we look for them to have an A star to B or a 7 or above in the new GCSE in the subjects that they intend to study at A level. Students joining from other curricula, we talk with them at interview, the students at interview, and we request the transcripts and the report cards and have a discussion about the grades that they have received in their curricula and in their school. Next slide. So this is a color-coded version of our current A-level option availability. And as you can see, it's in a traffic light format, so green, amber and red. The subjects that you can see in green are still available, and we have plenty of space in terms of availability in those options. The ones in amber, or orange if you like, are nearing the maximum capacity, and then the ones in red you can see psychology in block 2 and physics in option 4. Currently we do not have availability in those subjects in those particular blocks, but you can see that psychology, as an example, is in both block 2 and 4, and in block 4 there is space. So we wanted to be very transparent about this. These numbers change obviously on a day-to-day basis as new students join us, so we will be updating this accordingly, but this will give you a very good idea of our curriculum offering and our curriculum offering at present. So we are very open to discuss the subjects in green and in amber with you at depth, but unfortunately the 2 in red in those particular blocks are currently closed. Next slide, please. Thank you. So just a bit more of a broader understanding of our school and the support that our year 12 students get when they join us. We make sure that they have one-to-one sessions alongside group sessions with our career counsellor. and with our leadership team across Key Stage 5. And these sessions are there for multiple reasons. One, to make sure that they settle in quickly to GEMS Founders School and the sixth form, and also to make sure that they're guided along their journey, along their path to higher education, to make sure that they are able to achieve their dreams wherever they may be in the world. We have a much wider counselling and advisory network within GEMS Education that offers multiple opportunities for students to engage with different opportunities, both online, in person, when permitted to do so, of course, and the vast array of information and talent that we have to offer is very, very important for year 12 and 13 students. So we want to get students thinking about university upon entry, and we want to make sure that they're prepared, whether it be through their personal statements, their CVs or their resumes, making sure that they're able to hold themselves well at interview, making sure that they get the best grades possible, of course, as well. And along the way, we will be continuing to hold career fairs, albeit virtually, and providing multiple online resources such as Unifrog, which is a database essentially for students to research different institutions around the world and to log and to track their progress towards higher education. Next slide, please. So this is a very brief infographic that we shared with our current students and parents and wider school community. And if you do make the decision to join GEMS Founders School, this will apply at present. I think the logistical element of this is self-explanatory, but the third picture you can see on the right side is very important to understand if you do decide to join our school. Currently, in line with the regulations and guidelines that we have to follow, students will be permitted to come to school 1 day on, 1 day off, so essentially 50% in school and 50% at home, and only attend school on designated days that we would assign them, which is working very effectively at present. They would stay in the same classroom and teachers would rotate. This again is in the very, very best interests of their safety and obviously complying with the guidelines that have been set out for us. They'll be working obviously a lot on their devices, of course, and the most important part of this element of the slide is that they will follow the full timetable just like they would do on a normal school day. There is an option for students to choose to be at home and stay at home and learn remotely 100%. That is an option that we would discuss if you do join our school. And again, it's all about the students' safety, health and well-being to make sure that we provide an environment that is most suited for their individual needs. And I just want to mention on this slide, and perhaps I should have mentioned this at the start, and I apologise, is that myself and my colleagues are not wearing face masks, as you can see in this webinar, and that is because we are individually in offices, and that is permitted within the school. But we do take, obviously, health and safety incredibly seriously. It is our #1 priority for all of our school community. So I just wanted to reassure you that is the reason myself and Ms. Gabri are not wearing a face mask during this webinar, because we are following the guidelines and the regulations set out. So the last slide, please, Mary, I believe. This is just a links to websites, essentially to the examination board website and our school website. This video will be shared on our YouTube channel and our social media channels. So if you were not able to attend today, this will be available to you all, of course. And I obviously will be welcoming lots and lots of questions and encourage you to email to Miss Kelsey Doyle, the head of sixth form, and to Mr. Joseph Lunt, the head of year 12. I have shared their email addresses with you via email alongside my own email address, and please do share with us any questions, any thoughts, any questions that have not been addressed in this webinar as soon as possible. We are very, very happy to set up individual meetings, whether it's on Zoom or Microsoft Teams, with you, your family, and your child or children. Again, to talk on a more personal level and in more depth, should you wish to do so. And I would like to finally end this webinar by saying thank you so much for registering your interest. You are more than welcome to, like I said, contact us. And we really, really hope that you do choose GEMS Founders School as the place for your child in year 12. Thank you all very much. Stay safe, stay healthy. And once again, thank you for joining us today.